Hey, this is Rick with Social Good Software. In this short demo, I'm going to be walking you through the process of how to create a query for Altru that will help you send an automated email for first-time purchases of a new membership. So this is really handy for you to be able to create, because this will automatically deliver a digital membership card or a welcome message to your members the moment they purchase, so that you don't have to wait for any batch processing to happen in the back end. So I'm going to go ahead and walk you through the process of doing this with one specific membership level. You're more than welcome to adjust this query for any other levels. So if you're doing any sort of segmentations with your membership base, you can definitely change that. I'm just going to be walking you through one example here, but the query is pretty much exactly the same for any other query you might work on or any other membership levels you might have. All right, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to head over into analysis here. We're going to go into the information library. We're going to go ahead and add an AHA query here. And the one we're going to be adding is going to be a sales order one. So we're going to click on sales order here. And then once we get to the sales order query, we want to go ahead and remove lookup ID. So we want to go ahead and start working on our transactions here in order for us to be able to query everything that has been sold pretty much today moving forward. So I want to just go ahead and walk you through the process of creating this query. You do have to pay a lot of attention with the fields you use, just because we are looking at a sales order, not a specific membership. So the first thing here that we need is the transaction date. So we're going to bring this over, and we want to say on or after, and then we want to say yesterday. Now the reason we say on or after yesterday is because sometimes people buy really late at night, 11:30 p.m., 11 p.m., that type of thing. And sometimes Altru treats as today, essentially as tomorrow. So just simply saying it yesterday fixes that bug within Altru of making sure that it catches people that buy really late at night. So that should go ahead and do that there. Then we need to go ahead and do the levels of the specific membership. So we're going to go to sales order item, and we have a description here that we can use. So if you know the specific name of the membership, you can just simply bring over the description. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to say contains. So here's contains. And then I'm going to go ahead and type in the exact name that it contains. So I'm just going to call it museum membership. Now this could be anything here for the specific description. Now, if you don't want to use a description and you want to use a specific level, you can totally do that as well. Just simply go to sales order item membership, and then we're going to go down to membership level, and then we're going to go name, and then we're going to go and say one of, and then here's where you can bring over all your specific membership levels. So in our case, if you wanted to go ahead and do the individual membership, you can bring this over. And you want to make sure that once you bring these over, you click on only return selected records that match these values. And that goes ahead and brings that specific level. So you can do it either by description or you can do it by specific level name. Either option works. So depending on how you start segmenting out by levels or by names, whichever way you go about it, just make sure that you get the right segments of folks that you want to go ahead and include. So in my case, I'm happy with individual membership, so I'm going to pull this off, and I'm just going to keep it this way. And then I also want to go ahead and make sure that we're including transactions that actually have paid money. So we're going to go in amount. You want to go ahead and say greater than. So greater than 0. Now, if your specific membership levels are free and people don't have to pay anything for them, you can definitely exclude this. This is just for the transaction itself. But if your organization requires this, you can definitely include it. In my case, I don't need it, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep it off. But if you, in your case, if you do need it, please go ahead and include the amount if you do some restrictions on the amount of dollar amounts for the entire transaction. The entire transaction includes everything being purchased, not just the membership. So just keep that in mind. All right, so we now need to do one more item here, sales order item membership. And this right here, transaction ID. And in our case, we wanted to go ahead and say not blank. Now what this says is pretty much says the thing we're purchasing right now is a membership. So that pretty much just restricts us from looking at anything else. This is already done with the membership level, so this is kind of redundant having it here. But if you don't know the exact name, or you're using the other name that I described to you, which is the description, sales order item, description, then you must include this here. In our case, we're using the level, so I'm pretty happy with just using the level there. But just know that you do have that option there for your specific membership. Hey, this is Rick from the future, and as always, in the Altru sense, I forgot a field reviewing the video in post-production. So let me show you where to get the field. You can go to sales order item. Here, sales order item membership, and members is dropped. Want to set this one equal to no, just like that. I already have it here, but pretty much you just want to set it to no. And what this does is it goes ahead and pulls off any members that were once part of the membership but are no longer part of the membership. So it's really important that you include this in here in order for you to be able to not share this email with anybody that was once a member but is no longer a member on this membership. So make sure you include this, really important. Throughout the rest of the video, you're going to see the query without this. We'll also add a little more post-production at the end of the video with the entire query all put together. So now here's the important part. We want to go ahead and include not only the member that I just purchased, but also every member that's under that membership. So if a membership has 4 members, we want to make sure that we include all 4 members here so we can deliver a digital membership card to each of the members. So let's go ahead and pull those here. We're going to go to sales order item, sales order membership. We're going to go under membership. Then we're going to go under members. Then we're going to go constituent. And then here's all the constituents that you have here. And then what we want to do here is want to go ahead and pull over their email address. So we're going to go here. We're going to find email address. And then we want to say primary email address is equal to yes. And you want to do this with the open parenthesis here. And then you want to say email address is blank. So this will get us everybody that does have an email address, everybody that does not have an email address. So email address is blank, and you want to put this with a closing bracket, and you want to say an or here. So again, this is all saying, give me every member that either has an email or doesn't have an email. Either of those options will work. Great, so now we can go ahead and move over to the note type. So we're going to go to notes, notes type, bring this over, and then in this one you want to do not one of. And then here's all of the different note types. So we're going to have to go ahead and create one here specifically for this membership level. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up my little text edit here. And I'm going to say digital membership card, individual membership. And I have to go and create this note type. So for now, I'm just going to go ahead and say email receipt. But once we create this query, I'm going to go in there and create this specific note type in there so we don't forget to do that. So that's pretty much all the restrictions here on where. Now for the other part here, it's going to be for the specific items we're going to include in the email. So let me go ahead and walk you through this process. So we're going to go to sales order item. We're going to go sales order item membership, members, constituent, and then inside a constituent, we want to grab the first name. So here's the first name. And then we also want to go ahead and grab the membership ID, which is one up here, membership ID. And then we want to go ahead and grab the membership level. And we're going to need the membership level twice. One, for us to be able to display it visually in the email. And then the second, to be able to go ahead and enforce the membership level at time of click. So what that means is if somebody is sharing, if somebody has more than one membership attached to their constituent record, it will always show the one that's being outputted from this query. So let me pull up my little visual tool and I can show you how this works. So if you have membership 1 and membership 2, and these two fall under one constituent, so we'll call her Kim. So if Kim belongs to 2 different memberships and they're both active, so A for active, whenever she clicks on the link, we'll always take her to the one that the query is outputting for the membership level. So if the membership level outputs individual membership, we'll always make sure we display this one and not this one. So we won't display this one, it will always display this one. So this is why it's really important to include the membership level twice. And you'll see this once we configure this with the email designer, how this is put together. So that's how that works. So we're gonna go ahead and include a couple more extra fields. We'll need the expiration date to be able to display it on the email. We're also gonna need the transaction date, again, to display it on the email. We're gonna need how much they paid in that transaction. We're also going to need the email address entered at time of purchase. Here's the email address. And then we're also going to need the sales order record ID, this one here. And the reason we need this one here is for us to be able to attach a note to that specific transaction that we actually sent the email. So again, I'll show you how to configure this, but this is really important because this is where we're going to be attaching the notes for that specific transaction. And then now we're going to go under sales order item, sales order item membership, members. And then we're going to go back to our constituent. And then inside our constituent, we're going to need the first name. And then as you can see here, we have 2 different names. We have first name here and first name here. And the reason we need this is because this first name is going to be used to address the person. This first name is going to be used for the digital membership card. Okay, great. We're also going to need the primary member. So we're going to go here, primary member. And we're going to sort by primary member. So we're always addressing the primary member and not any of the sub members in the actual email. And then we're also going to need the constituent record for each of the constituents here. And then we're also going to need the system record ID for the membership. So this one here. And the reason we need this specific system record ID is because this will allows us to be able to group all of the members under one membership. This constituent record ID allows us to be able to look up that specific constituent to get their digital membership card. So that's why we need that ID. And this ID here we need in order for us to be able to attach the sales order record to the specific sales order. So let me pull my little marker and I can draw this up for you. So the sales order record, this one here, this one's going to go under the sales order. So this is going to go under sales order. And I'll put a little number 1 so you can visually see it. Number 1. Okay, and then we're also going to go ahead and we're going to need the next one here, constituent record. And we'll put this as number 2. And then for number 2, we're going to need, so here's number 1. Here's number 2. For sales order record, the constituent record ID, this is going to be the ID for the membership card. So this is the constituent record. And then finally, the third one here. So this is the third one. So the third one is right here, number 3. It's going to be the membership ID to group. So that's essentially all the IDs that we need. Okay? Great. So now that we have gotten all of those fields outputted, now we need to do a little bit of sorting just to make sure this is sorted correctly. So we're going to sort by primary member. And then we're going to do Z to A. And what this is going to do is going to sort our query. So we're always showing primary members first. So when we write the email, we're always going to be addressing the primary member and not any of the other members in the membership. So that's the way that one works. So you want to make sure that you bring it over here and you do the Z to A to be able to sort in ascending order. Now if we click a quick preview, we might not get anything here just because I don't think anything has been sold right now. But pretty much that's all there is to the query. So at this point, you want to go ahead and give it a name. So I'm going to go ahead and just type out our name here. Like this. And I'm going to say, please do not remove this query. It's used to send real-time emails for SGS to welcome new members using digital membership cards. Just like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and paste this in here. And then everything else looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and click save and close. And that's going to go ahead and create that for us. Now, we're not quite done yet with our query. Our query is pretty much almost done. We just need to go inside the code tables and create this node type. So let's go over here. Let's copy this, paste this in here, and then we make this a little bigger so you can actually see it. We're going to go to administration. We're going to go to code tables. And then we're going to go down to ticketing, I believe it's called. Here we go. We're going to go down to sales order item note type. We're going to go ahead and add a note. And then here's my note. My note has been added. Now we can go back to our query. Here it is. We're going to go ahead and click on edit definition. And then note types, we want to say not one of. We want to pull this one out. Click OK. And then that should do it for us. Now, that is specifically targeting that specific note type there. We save and close. And now at this point, our query is ready to go for us to be able to test and make sure that this is all set up. So that's pretty much all there is to creating the automated digital membership card. Now, if you're segmenting out by different membership levels, at this point, you will want to clone/copy this query and adjust specifically the specific individual level that you're targeting. And also, if you want to deliver multiple cards to the same person, you want to make sure you create a node type for each individual membership level. But if you're okay with the same node type across the board, you can just continue to use the same node type. So you can actually even call it something a little bit more generic, like digital membership card email, and call it a day. In my case, I do want to segment out. Some of my members do share more than one membership. So I do want to go ahead and segment it out, multiple emails to the same member. So if member A belongs to membership A and B, I want to make sure that they get both of those emails. So I do need to do further segmenting. If your organization does not allow more than one membership per member, then you don't need to worry about that. You can just make a very generic node type and use that one for all of your queries. So it just varies depending on kind of what it is that you are working with on your data side. Hey, this is Rick once again from post-production. This is the final query that you'll end up with. As you know, we are including this field here is dropped equal to no. So just make sure that's included in your query. Everything else here is pretty much identical to what we have been doing throughout the video. Just really important that you include this one here is dropped is equal to no. And that will go ahead and pull off anybody that was once a member but is no longer a member in this membership. All right. These queries are a little bit tricky to get right, and there is no one size fits all. We try our best to be able to give you a generic starting point, but it's always useful for you to be able to test and make sure this is all working correctly and configured and set up accordingly to the needs of the organization. And that's going to go ahead and do it here for me. Once again, this is Rick from Social Good Software. Hopefully you found this video helpful. We're always looking to improve and make things better. If something was not clearly explained in this video, or maybe you just are still a little bit confused and have some additional questions that we didn't talk about in the video, don't worry, we're here to help. Please go over to socialgoodsoftware.com/feedback. You're able to provide us feedback on this training. You're able to provide us feedback on the software. We're always looking to improve. So if you have any suggestions, please reach out to us. Again, socialgoodsoftware.com/feedback. You'll be able to go ahead and share your thoughts with us, and we're always happy to help.